Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I don't know how to stitch it together, so I'm just going to continue on moving. Let's move. So, anyways, at this point, where did I leave off? Okay, we're getting to know each other. Now, the one thing that he communicated to me was, I'm not married. I have one child. I broke up, like he said, I was in a relationship. I broke up with the person, he said 4 months ago. So he was just like, I'm single. So then I thought in my head, oh, yeah, yeah, this is just going to be a good time type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Not like I was looking at it any other way, because I was already not taking him seriously in that sense. But I'm just like, all right, cool. This is just gonna be like a good time is had type of thing, and then we'll just leave it at that. Okay. This was like around the pandemic. So then moving forward, let me just, so the first, everything was cool until I think the first flag that I had experienced or witnessed was that, one, the times that we would meet up happened to fall around the new moon or full moon cycle. Now, this is important because this is important because at that time, nothing was registering, but it wasn't until after it where things started to click. So it was kind of like, not kind of, but it seemed like every single time we met, it was either, the times that we met, it usually fell either 3 days before a full moon or a new moon or 3 days after. And so I was like, okay. And one of the things that would happen is whenever we would get intimate or we would be intimate is I would be I would bleed afterwards. And I didn't really think anything of it, okay? And I will say, let me say this, because I don't want to come across, it's all over the place. I would bleed, like usually after, and I thought it was weird, I thought it was weird. At first, I thought maybe I'm coming on my cycle, because I do happen to be irregular. My period just comes on, pops in, and then pops out. So initially, I didn't think anything of it. But then I realized as we continued, you know what I'm saying, to be intimate, that I would always feel tired, I would feel drained, and I would have like a certain sensation like around my abdomen. And at first I dismissed it. Then eventually I thought it was kind of weird. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well maybe I'm bugging. Okay, so coupled with that, I'm throwing in things here. Coupling with that, there was a time where we were having dinner, and I think I had made spaghetti, and he had come out and asked me, "Did you put blood in your spaghetti?" Which I thought was a weird question to ask somebody, right? And I said, "No, why would I put blood in my spaghetti?" Like, who openly jokes about putting blood in one's spaghetti unless that's like the type of life that you live, or that's the type of people that are around you, okay? But I thought that was strange. But anyways, moving on. So this was one of the strangest, there were like some strange instances, okay? And I'm not sitting there, but so let me just jump into one of the first craziest things that I had experienced with this young man. Okay. Um, so there was a time where I think it was like in April. So at this point, we were already being intimate, right? And I start to feel cramps, to the point where I couldn't get any type of restful sleep. And to the point where I literally felt like I had to rock myself back and forth to help with the pain, to minimize the pain. And it felt that bad, and I said, okay, something's not right. And before, if anybody asks, did we always use protection? We use protection sometimes, but we didn't always use protection, okay? So with that said, I'm like, I took a pregnancy test and I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. But yet this pain wouldn't go away, and appointments at this time were hard to come by. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up getting a doctor's appointment at a clinic, because this was on a pandemic time. So I was able to just, grab an appointment. And I'll have you know, when I went to my doctor's appointment at the clinic, I got tested, and she was like, well, if there's anything that comes up, I'll let you know, type of thing. We'll call you. So then I'm like, okay. So like a week goes by, and then next thing you know, I get a call from the doctor's office. I'm like, oh shit. So then they come and they tell me, well, I just wanted to let you know that you tested positive for chlamydia and gonorrhea. And I said, I think at first I was shocked, and I was just like, okay. And she says, we're going to have you come in. She said, we can either, do the prescription and have you write the prescription, because all the networks was connected. You can go to your doctor, or we'll write you a prescription, and then, you can get pills to whatever, knock it out. But she told me that we want you to come in so that you can take it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at this time, I was only sleeping with one person. Okay. And I do that purposely because I want to know if anything were to happen, pregnancy or anything else, such as an STD scare, I know exactly who to go to. And I knew that I had only slept with one person. Okay. So then when I call the person and say, hey, yo, let me talk to you for a minute. I just got news from the doctor that I tested positive for chlamydia and gonorrhea. And his response was, well, who do you think gave it to you? And I'm like, what? I wanted to say, well, what the fuck you mean? But I was just like, well, who do you think gave it to me? I said, I was only messing with you. Those aren't my exact words, but you know what I'm saying. Paraphrasing. So I'm like, who the hell you think, who the hell do you think I got it from? I was only fucking you. So who were you fucking? And granted, I know at that point, according to him, he said he was single, and that's fine. He said he wasn't in a relationship. He said he wasn't married. He wasn't engaged. And that's fine. And I understood that we weren't exclusive. But then I also said, we can have the conversation, right? Meaning like, if you and me are doing each other right, and at any point we want to add other people in the mix, we can have that conversation. Not add people in the mix in the sense of a threesome, but add people in the mix as far as having multiple partners that we're sleeping with, and if that's the case, we can have an honest adult conversation. That way we can, if we're going to continue on doing what we do, then we can ensure that we're always protected. You know what I'm saying? So was I upset with him that he was fucking other women? No, he's young, he's attractive. We weren't exclusive, but we could have had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was coming from. Now, the first thing that he did was he denied it. Okay. Then he came back. And we had a conversation, and he's told me, this is when shit got crazy, y'all. He told me that he got it from his baby moms, and he said his girlfriend was mad too. And with that, let me pause it here and I'll come back to the next video.